Welcome back to the YouTube channel, Friends of Vidz, and this is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 67. So another big show coming tonight of the Ankle Breaker Podcast, and we're currently 67 episodes in, so it should be a great show tonight. A bit of a different sort of layout to how it's normally been in the past. Obviously, as you can realise, no All Out Champa tonight. He's unavailable, so he'll be back next week, which is all good. But tonight I've got two special guests on the channel, and it's great to see. Two very close mates of mine, and also just as well great supporters of this channel. And look, someone's making their first appearance on the channel, and obviously someone's come back on the channel to also yet again feature on another stream of mine. So first of all, I'll start with you first, Fanatics. First of all, bro, good to have you on the channel again, and welcome back to the podcast. How you been, bro?
Yeah, it's great to be back on the podcast. Actually, I believe I've been on here a couple of times now, so yeah, it's good to be back on again. And hope yourself doing well. And King, good to see the King on as well. And it's great to see all the viewers as well. But yeah, it was a great weekend. It's good to be back on again. And looking forward to the podcast. Should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. And as I said, the first time he's making his appearance on the Pro Ends of Vidz YouTube channel, and I'm pleased to announce that the King, for the very first time, Bow Down, is making his first appearance on the channel for the very first time. So he is having some little delays with the connection stuff, but it should pull through for now. But King, bro, you're there. How you been? And welcome to the channel for the first time. It's a blessing, honestly. I'll give it a few seconds. Oh, come on. Damn it. Had this issue in the green room too. King, are you there? Yeah, I don't think so. Damn it. He'll come back. He'll come back. But anyway, yeah, look, it's great. Look, first of all, it's great to have the King on the channel. You know, for a few years now, I've been trying to get him on. There's been times where I guess he's been unavailable, and I've been, trying to see where he could fit in on the podcast. But there he goes. He'll be back hopefully. But yeah, look, I don't know if he'll be back. I hope he is back because I want to really get him on the podcast for the whole show. But look, obviously the King's the King, and if he makes an appearance on the channel and comes back again, then it's fantastic. But hopefully his connection works soon. But anyway, Fanatics, just me and you for now. We'll go for the live chat and see who's turned up for tonight. So the first comment, it's yourself, Fanatics, the first comment. So that's good. Good to see you on this live chat. Got Nick from Australia. He says, good evening, Nick, and he's keen for the podcast. Yeah, good to see you, bro. No, look, tough result yesterday, but love the vlog you put out this afternoon. It was classy as always. Josh Rabideau 2023, how are you, bro? And Nick giving me some self-promotion. Thank you very much. SS Stormfan, hello, and Jason Reader, evening. Bow down to the King. Yeah, I wish he was here so we can all bow down, but he's got connection issues, sadly. I hope he's back, though. We all hope that. And Liam Pritchard, hello as well. And Rishi Sunak, and hello to Aaron Marnie as well. So good to have a good sort of audience so far in the live chat. And look, it seems like a good audience so far. So hopefully it builds up during the show. And I think he's back. The King's back. So hopefully second time lucky. King, are you there? It's black screen so far, but hopefully the photo loads up. So far, he isn't bogged out, but it's just it's a black screen, so I don't know what to do. Hello, King. Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know what's happened, but once he gets his connection working, then should be. We'll go and continue from there. And hello to Tupac in the live chat too. Hope you're doing well, mate. But look, tonight obviously it's gonna be a few controversial topics to talk about that happened across the weekend, and also I guess it's happened for the past few weeks now. And it's obviously a bit touchy to talk about, I guess, the whole RLPA and NRL stuff, and we will touch into that very soon. So just a heads up for those that are wondering if we will discuss that, which we will. And that will be big. That will be big. But Fanatics, as always, we'll start with our review of the round it was, like a round 22 review. So basically, bro, just our thoughts of the round it was, and obviously your boys had a good win over the bye. I heard 100 points to nil, and I heard that down with his Leslie, I got 5 tries. So that's an awesome thing to break there. How good. But yeah, no, seriously though, what'd you make of the round? And obviously, you were at the Titans and Cowboys game yesterday with Luther and the King and Nick, so that would have been good, wouldn't it? So, but what do you think of the round in general?
Yeah, look, it was a really interesting round. There were some upsets in those games, like you had the Knights being the Raiders down there in Canberra, and also the Bulldogs getting up over the Knights. Well, I don't know if you consider it a big upset, but the Dolphins were sort of favourites going into that game. But the Dolphins almost snatched it actually. So very close. Osaka missed that goal there. I didn't see the whole game. I saw the highlights because I was travelling to Seabus for the Titans Cowboys game, so I didn't see those 2 Sunday games. But yeah, I didn't see the first one. I obviously saw the Titans game, but yeah, look, overall, I thought it was an all right round. There were some big scores in some of the games, but some of the other games were competitive and close as well. So I thought it was an okay round of footy. I didn't really mind it, to be honest. It was all right.
Yeah, look, I don't think it was the worst round, obviously. I think there was a few good things that happened, but as I said before, a few controversial things did occur during that round as well. So, that obviously kind of had some, I guess, negative thoughts of it. But other than that, yeah, I agree. I think it was a good round of footy. Like, obviously, Manly winning on Saturday was huge. Like, I told you this in the green room, Fanatics, that the trip there was good, and the trip there back from Wollongong to Sydney was good as well. And I love travelling to watch the boys play every week, wherever it is, and get a win like that. I know it's Dragons, and the Dragons are nothing special, but winning for DC's 300th and Kroger's 100th as well, which has not been talked about enough, I don't think. It was to get a win for them too, and how we did it, because that was our first win at Wollongong since 2003. So, that was a long time. So it's great to break that 20-year drought. And being there live, that was really special to experience that. But I agree, bro. I think it was a good round of footy. Like, obviously, the Thursday, Friday night games were all decent. I guess Roosters, Broncos. Roosters put up a fight for a bit there, but Broncos are obviously the better side and would always be the better side too. Saturday Arvo footy. I didn't really get to see the Knights Raiders game that much because I was going to Wollongong, but I tipped Newcastle. I backed Newcastle, and I knew that'd win because I guess you can consider it an upset because I think it was in Canberra, and Canberra like 5th in the ladder, which they're very lucky to be, in my opinion. But the way Newcastle are playing, it's like they are a contender for the top 8, and I can't dismiss that. I can't dismiss that at all. So, that was a big win by Newcastle, and obviously after the Manly Dragons game, it was Panthers and Sharks, and look, Penrith are too good. Sharks are going backwards and backwards every week, so very concerning. And Sunday, obviously, Dolphins Bulldogs. I tipped the Dolphins to win, and I was confident that they would win, but Dogs obviously did enough to win. I think Kikau was a big in for them, and he lifted that side pretty well. And Titans Cowboys. Look, I think Cowboys were due to drop a game. I mean, it's a shame it's against the Titans because Titans are nothing special, but it happens. It's part of the game, and look, it's not a season-defining game. This one, so Cowboys are fine, but Titans, and they needed a victory, and I think that was an important one there. But hopefully round 23 is even better. Let's hope so anyway. All right, on to our player of the week for round 22. So, there was a few standouts during the round, I think. A few players were big in the reason why they won the game and stuff like that. But Fanatics, in your opinion, bro, who would you say was your round 22 player of the week?
Well, this one actually come from a losing side. It was from Cronulla, from the Sharks there. Obviously, a disappointing loss for them, but Cameron McInnes, he was incredible. Like, I think he broke a record for the amount of tackles in a game in the NRL. So, yeah, I got to say he was probably one of my standout players for the Sharks and probably for the NRL this week. I know there's quite a few other standouts as well. Like there's plenty of others, but I've gone with Cameron McInnes. I thought it was incredible in a losing side there.
Mm. Oh yeah, he was great. He was great actually, McInnes. Like, I guess myself, I didn't get to watch the game that much. I watched the highlights though, not the full game, just the highlights. And but to see the stat, like he made 84 tackles in one game, wasn't it? 84 something.
Yeah,
That's a record breaking thing, and you know that's incredible. And I think the Sharks players and McInnes' teammates, I should say, should be a bit ashamed about themselves, because you know it seems like McInnes was the only guy that had to work harder than the rest to help the Sharks in some way. But unfortunately, the support wasn't all there. So pretty sad to see. But the positive is that McInnes did that, got all those tackles, and yeah, I think he's a very important part of that Sharks team. So that's a good one for player of the round. As for me though, it's a tough one because there's a lot of players you could choose from that were the best during the round. But for me, I'm going to pick Dominic Young from the Knights. I think Dominic Young, you know, he's top try scorer for a reason. 20 tries for the year, 19 games, which is incredible. And you can see, you know, he's getting better and better by each game. He's a consistent winger. I think when he was younger, like a couple of years ago when he first started at the Knights, his defense was a bit all over the shop. But it seems like he's established himself a bit better this time, and I think this year is doing good things. And I think Newcastle are succeeding because of the way he has adjusted himself to scoring tries in the corner and stuff like that. So I go Dom Young. That's my player of the week actually. Dom Young. Go look into some comments here. So in the live chat, Tupac says Nico Hines can't focus on footy because of off-field problems. Well, yeah, I mean, I will say with Nico Hines, that's a good point actually. Yeah, he's had a few since being ignored by Origin and Brad Fittler, and I reckon that's taking a toll on Nico Hines as well, missing Origin, I think. So yeah, I don't know why Hines has dropped so much, but it's not good to see, and it's not good for Sharks fans to see their own halfback, sort of struggle in form, because they need him at this time of the year, and obviously he's not doing well enough. So yeah, look, I hope he bounces back soon, but yeah, it's not good. As the Storm fan says, Knights are playing like they're the finals team. They are. No, they are for sure. Yeah. I think, the Knights have won 4 straight games now, and it's obviously uncommon to see that. So it's credits their hard work, I guess, to keep consistent. And because the way they started the year, it was actually really bad. And I think over time they just found their groove again. And I think Callum Ponga's influence has been huge as well. I think people undermine that Ponga's influence has been great. So, I think Knights are, for me, are a chance of making the top 8. I don't know if they'll be there for sure, but they're a real chance. And last of all, Jason Reeder says the Roosters were outclassed by a good Broncos side. They were. Yeah, they were. They were. And I think the Roosters, for me, their year's over. But, Broncos, they're a dark horse for a reason. So it happens. It is what it is. All right. Fanatics, it's time to get into the topics that we've put together tonight. So it should be some, like I said, some really interesting ones that have been put into here. So keen to talk about them. But straight off the bat, the big one, the big one's been going on for a while now, and it's a mess. But we'll give our full thoughts on this one. So obviously, the RLPA and the NRL are having some issues at the moment regarding payment for players and injuries after retirement, because I think players believe that they should be paid by the NRL or given more assistance by the NRL after having injuries or something, and they don't want to pay for themselves, players. I think the NRL is more responsible for paying them, and giving them money for the injuries that they've gotten or whatever. So it's all very controversial, obviously, but it's become a real circus because now we're seeing players covering up their badges, like the NRL badges, with tape and stuff, which is we saw this weekend. It was a bad look for the game, and it's really disappointing to see. I think another issue is that some players don't interact with the fans as much as part of the stand or the boycott as well, which is also disappointing for the fans. We can't even hear players talk to the media after the game and stuff. Like Braden Best, when he made his Origin debut and scored a double or something, we couldn't hear him give his thoughts on his debut of Origin for the Blues and stuff. And just last Thursday, Patrick Carrigan scored his first try in the NRL, and we couldn't hear him give his thoughts on that one. So it's sad and very disappointing to see. It's a real mess at the moment, obviously. But Fanatics, what's your thoughts on this one, bro? Like, it's a real circus, isn't it? And how do you think they should fix this, in all honesty?
Yeah, it's a huge mess. It's really affecting the game at the moment because you've got all this sort of shit going on with the RLPA and the NRL, and it's basically just a war between the RLPA and the NRL. So yeah, the jersey thing on the weekend where players were covering the NRL badge, which I still like seeing that. It was it's not a good look at all. And then there's talks around at the moment that there could possibly be delaying games as well, like players not coming out of the shed and delaying games. So there's another talk of that happening apparently. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but who knows? I mean, we've seen with the jersey thing that's happened already. So yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough one to say because it's such a big thing around the game at the moment, and it's quite a big topic as well. But yeah, I just hope it's sorted out real soon. I really hope it's sorted real soon before the finals kick off because it's a shame we're not being able to hear from the players, especially with post-match interviews and pre-game interviews, and we've had players with milestones. Celebrating milestone games, and we've not been able to hear from those players as well. The likes of DCE, who plays 300th game.
Yeah.
We had Johnston play a milestone game as well only a couple of weeks ago. So, there's quite a few big milestone, matches for players, and we've not been able to hear from them, which is a real shame. And then, we've only been able to hear from the coaches, really, and the NRL, I think, and the RLPA need to sort it out. I think they need to sort it out real soon. So yeah, it's annoying. It's quite an annoying thing to happen in the game at the moment. That's what I personally believe in. Yeah, I hope it's sorted soon. I really do. I hope it's sorted rather soon before the end of the season. Hopefully it's not carrying on to the final series, which will be a real pain, really.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Absolutely. And if it starts continuing during finals, it's going to really ruin the game, I think, because the finals are a thing that everyone watches. It's such a big event in the game, and if this is still going, if this whole boycott is still going and gets worse, well, it's going to really take a toll on the game. And I think fans might lose it as well, and we might see a big walkout of fans potentially as well because the game's not running as how it should. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it all ends by finals. But Fanatics fair thoughts. I think fair thoughts. It's sad. Like I said, it's sad. It's sad to see players that have achieved milestones and have scored that amount of tries and breaking records and stuff to not speak to the media and speak to the fans about what they've achieved. It's not how the game should be run. I honestly reckon that Clint Newton, I don't know what his role is, but I think he's the main head of the RLPA. Clint Newton, he's a former player, but he's part of it all. The main guy there. I think he was one that came up with the idea to put the tape on the NRL logo and stuff like that. Well, it's pretty disgusting if you ask me. That's a parasite move by Clint Newton, in my opinion. It's but in general to just not interact with the fans and not do much for the NRL at the moment and be all quiet and stuff. It's really detrimental to the game, I think, and it's really sad, honestly. But what I wish would happen, and I wish this happens, that the players are boycotting, and I mean, I guess some players only are boycotting, like the big name players are part of this boycott. I hope that the RLPA and the officials at the NRL can all sit down in one room together and they can all just discuss what the main issue is, and hopefully they can come to some sort of resolution about payments and stuff and how players need better support, I guess, during injuries and stuff and things like that. I hope they can all just sit down somewhere and discuss it all, because we had this issue back in January too about players not getting fair pay after COVID or something, I think. And now it's like, I thought it was all sorted by now, It's one of those things. So, yeah, it's controversial, and I'm not going to go on for too long about it because it is a tough topic to talk about. But, yeah, look, I just hope for the fans and hopefully for the players they can get what they want, and hopefully we can all move on and be happy. I really do hope that for sure. And that's that. But moving on to topic number 2 now. Now, this is one that really is interesting to me because I reckon that Adam O'Brien's doing a great job for Newcastle. He's actually surprised me. And I thought at the start of the year that he'd be one of the coaches on the chopping block because of the Knights and how they ended last year. And I thought that he was under a lot of pressure, O'Brien, but he's been well. He's been really good this year. He's been well for the team. And, they seem to found some confidence under him. So it's a fair play to AOB. But, I've read today that apparently a Knights official, don't know who did it, but some Knights official approached Justin Holbrook and spoke about a potential deal in the future with the Knights, and whether that's an assistant role or a head coaching role, more likely a head coaching role though, because I don't think they're all sold on O'Brien just yet. But that they have apparently had some discussions with Justin Holbrook, and that's behind Adam O'Brien's back as well. So that's that's not something you want, especially when you're in a winning mood. Have coaches or anyone not be aware of what's happening at the club and behind the scenes. Fanatics, what's your thoughts on this one? Do you think Knights should move on from Adam O'Brien and sign Justin Holbrook, or do you disagree with this as well?
Look, at the start of the year, I wasn't too high on Adam O'Brien. I think over the couple of months I haven't been. Wasn't too fond on the way he's been going, but I think over the past couple weeks, I think he's doing really well. Actually, I think the Knights. You look at the Knights' form lately; it's been very good, and suddenly they're now in contention for a final spot. Which at the start of the year, I probably wouldn't have thought that. Because obviously they had a tough year last year as well, and I think they made the finals once under Adam O'Brien as well. So I think there was one year where they did make the finals under him. I think once or twice.
2020 and 2021.
Yeah, so there's twice. So he's made the finals twice. So pretty much why he's still there. They've still got him as a coach. But to go and ask Justin Holbrook right now, that's I don't know whether what the go is there. O'Brien's doing a good job at the moment, so I think I think O'Brien should be the coach next year. Personally, I think he should be the coach for the Knights going into next season. Whether they give him a whole season, who knows? But I don't know. I don't think Justin Holbrook should be the coach right now. I think O'Brien should keep his spot in the head coaching role. I don't think they would approach him just to be an assistant coach, really. I don't think that would be the case.
I agree with that. Look, I think actually Holbrook's a good coach, and I do think he is because I think we've all seen what he's done at St. Helens. He's won championships there. He's been a great coach for St. Helens, and he's also been a great assistant with a few clubs too. I think Holbrook, is a good coach and he knows what he's talking about and stuff. And I think it was unfair how the Titans backstabbed him to sign Des Hasler for next year. And, cause they didn't think Holbrook was a guy that could take them to the premiership. That's pretty hard. That's pretty harsh. So, look, I've got no doubt that Holbrook will get another job somewhere. I think he will very soon. But I don't think Newcastle are a club that should get him because, I think O'Brien is a good coach. I think O'Brien is genuinely a good coach. I mean, at the start of the year and late last year, I wasn't too sure about that because I thought that the way he sort of managed the team and the bench rotations were a bit confusing. So I just thought that maybe, he's not all there. But the way Knights are playing, it's definitely down to O'Brien and how he has got the team up and going again. So I hope Knights don't get rid of him, but if they do, well, it's a risky move to sign Holbrook because I think they're a bit similar, Holbrook and O'Brien. I reckon they're actually quite similar. I feel like so it's a bit risky, but if I'm Knights and if Knights are smart enough, they would keep O'Brien for just this year and next year. We'll see how they really go. But yeah, look, Holbrook tonight, I wouldn't do it personally. That's me. I would not do it at all. In the live chat, Jacko here says Super League doesn't count. Nathan Brown did well over there, and he is hopeless as a head coach. Look, I think the thing is though with Holbrook, like he's walked into that St Helens team and he's built a good team. Like obviously St Helens has always been a well-established club, but Holbrook's done a great job with us, and he's proven that as well. And look, even at his first year at the Titans in 2020, wasn't it? I think 2020. They finished ninth, and in 2021 they finished in the top 8. So they weren't, terrible those years that Holbrook was coaching there. And I think last year was obviously a flop of the year. And this year they weren't going too bad. They actually weren't going too bad. They could have still been in finals contention in the Titans if they kept Holbrook, but no, they sacked him, and I think it's upset Tina and Fafita. That's why they hit the open market. So yeah, look, I don't think Holbrook will be a free agent for long. I think he'll get a club soon. He will soon for sure. All right, on to topic number 3 now, and this is one that I'm sure Fanatics is happy about, because I know you hate the Sharks, Fanatics, and you obviously hate the Sharks with a passion. So now they're sort of sliding off, and what's happened to the Sharks? Like I thought for a while that they were locked in for finals in the top 4. I mean, they're playing like a team that would be, near premiership contention. But to be fair, they were beating bottom 8 clubs and clubs that are not in contention. So they're kind of the new flat track bullies sort of thing, I think. And they obviously have proven to not be able to compete with top 4, top 8 teams. So I guess now it's getting worse for them because they're losing to teams outside the top 8, and they got exposed by Manly the week before and Penrith just last Saturday. So yeah, I don't know. The Sharks are, they're not going to get in the 8 easy now because of these losses and their backwards form. But Fanatics, what's going on with the Sharks? Can they still make finals, you reckon?
Yeah, they're really struggling. They haven't really beaten any top 8 sides this year. Look, I mean, I really haven't been surprised with their struggles most recently. I know a lot of people were so high on them at the start of the year. People were talking them up as, contenders, and because of the year they had last year, which, they had a good year last year, but you got to remember they bombed out the finals in straight sets. So, they finished second, but they went out straight away, So, I mean, Hines might have had a great year, which was a great individual year for him, but, you can't rely on just Nicholas Hines, to get you up. So,
that's right.
You've got to have a whole team effort. And, like, the Sharks have had, like, their defense is not great at all. Like, they can set a lot of points pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams have exposed that this year. Penrith obviously exposed that. It's pretty easy for Penrith to expose the likes of the Sharks in it because Penrith are a top side. But the Warriors exposed it as well. Manly did it as well. So, and look, that's the reason why the Sharks are struggling at the moment. It's just purely their defense. They can score points. Scoring points is not an issue for them, but it's just their defense. Something that, I think Fitzgibbon will be very disappointed with. Fitzgibbon's really hard nosed. He's big on defense and as well. So, yeah, that's why they're really struggling. And they're dropping players as well. They dropped Moylan. They dropped Talakai. Now, whether Moylan was that massive of a problem, I don't know. I don't really know for sure. It shows that they're still not playing well even when he's out of the side. So, yeah, look, not really more. Look, I think they could possibly miss out. It's crazy to say that. And I think at the start of the year, I had the Sharks missing the 8 altogether. So,
could happen.
There's a chance of it happening now. So, it's a big call and it's a bold call. And it might sound crazy, but there's a chance that they could miss the 8. If they continue on with this poor form at the moment. So, yeah, it's not a certainty that'll make the 8 right now. It's not a certainty at the moment.
No, it's not. It's not. And if that prediction does come off as correct, the Sharks miss the finals, and fair play to you because not many people would have thought that. So, but now, the way they're playing, it's like they could miss finals and finish as low as they could finish as low as 11th, in my opinion. Like, I don't think they're going to finish like in the bottom 4, obviously. But if they keep losing and keep conceding tries and keep not defending well enough to, I guess, every week, yeah, they could fall really low on the ladder, I reckon. So I don't know what's happened to Cronulla. In all honesty, I don't know, because it wasn't long ago until they were all playing well, playing good footy, and the Sharks seem to be competing every week and seem to really go the easy way and expose the smaller clubs. But maybe now it's like they've kind of run out of ideas and they're getting smashed now, and they've just sort of hit their peak. Maybe this season they've hit their peak, and that's why they're going backwards. So, and yeah, like I think players like Matt Moylan have an issue. Look, probably isn't a full issue. I don't think, but his defense and like the whole Sharks defense, it's been awful. But I think it's pretty blatant obvious that his defense has been awful. Seems to miss tackles way too often now. Looks very slow in his runs as well. Very slow. So I think age is getting to him as well. So I think dropping him's the right call. And if the rumours are true, they might go to Catalans over in the Super League. Well, I think that's what suits him now, Super League, just to end his career over there. Because I think the Sharks have good young halves and Braden Trindle, who should have gotten more goals this year, I reckon. Kate Dykes can play in the halves as well, but he's more of a fullback, I think. But they've said that he could play 5'8". But yeah, and Connor Tracy as well. But yeah, it's clearly obvious that Moylan's struggling, Hines is struggling. I think, like I said before, I think Origin has affected Hines as well. Talakai hasn't done anything, and this might sound bold to say, but I reckon Siva Talakai is extremely overrated. He's a one-hit wonder player. He's only a one-hit wonder, I feel like, Talakai. He may do some good things in some games, but really when he comes up against a better opponent, like let's say he comes up against a Campbell Graham, a Joseph Manu, or Justin Olam, he'd go quiet and not do anything. So I feel like he's that sort of player that just rides on momentum and rides on playing, the more superior opponents. Against tougher opponents, he'll struggle, I feel like. But that's just my opinion. I just think that on Talakai. But look, in general, the Sharks are just struggling, and I don't know if I'll make the 8. Fanatics, I'll ask you this just quickly. Will the Sharks make the finals for sure? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to stick with my prediction.
Wow.
I'm going to stick with my prediction that I made at the start of the year. And a lot of people were surprised that I didn't have them in my 8 in my ladder. So, yeah, I just thought, they've been they beat the bottom teams, and then they come up against the top teams, and they really struggle. And they showed that last year even.
It did.
They showed that even though they did finish second, which I thought they finished second purely on a bit of the luck with the draw as well at the back end of the year. But, I think right now, I think they might miss the 8. I actually think they'll miss the 8, personally. I just see, that there are other teams that, like the Knights, could potentially sneak in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Knights and maybe Manly, maybe the Titans potentially as well. That they're all a chance. The Parramatta are still in it as well. But yeah, exactly. The Sharks team did this last year as well, so they've got a consistency issue against the bigger clubs, it seems like. And you don't win comps by beating the little teams or the struggling teams only. So yeah, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the Sharks will miss finals. I think. Because I'll miss it. I think Sharks are in a lot of trouble, and I don't trust them from here to round 27. So I'm going to say yes, they'll miss the finals. All right, on to topic number 4 now. Okay, a lot of people have DM'd me about this one. A lot of people have said that I've said about this one, and they think that Dragons were robbed because of this. I'm sorry, but you don't claim robbery after conceding 24-8 in a game. You don't call robbery after being down by that many points. I don't think at all. Okay, tough call. I felt like, but it was still dangerous in my opinion. But yeah, Dragons fans or just anyone that's claimed robbery after this tackle needs a rule book and needs a real hard look at themselves, because you don't claim robbery after being down 24-8 at one point during a game. Fanatics, you probably saw this. Jack the Bellens hip drop and Christian Tuipulotu, the Manly winger. He's getting 3 weeks for it now, and people are upset about it and stuff like that. But what do you think, bro? Do you think this was a fair suspension, or do you think he was a bit unlucky?
Look, you're probably not going to agree with me here, but yeah, I'll probably say it was a bit harsh. Yeah, I think 3 weeks is a bit too harsh on Jack de Belin. I think the tackle. I think when you look at the tackle, it wasn't the greatest of tackles, but look, I mean, I don't think it was a tackle worthy of 3 weeks suspension. I think I'll say 2 weeks at least. I don't think it deserved more than anything other than 2 weeks personally, but yeah, I don't think it was a tackle worthy of 3 weeks suspension for me. I just feel like I've seen a lot worse. I really have seen a lot worse this year, and some of them have gone unpunished as well. So yeah, I don't think 3 weeks is probably a bit harsh for me. I'd probably say 2 weeks, and yeah, I think it wasn't that bad.
But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, look, when I saw the tackle, it didn't look good. I mean, it wasn't the worst tackle, and it probably wasn't really close to a hip drop. I'll be honest in saying that, but there were already 2 men tackling Tuipulotu. I felt like there were already 2 men tackling him, and I felt like there was time for de Belin to pull out of that third man being in the tackle, but like he could have made a decision for himself not to get involved in that tackle, because he tackled quite low, and he made Tuipulotu fall on his knee, which now resulted in an MCL injury for Tuipulotu. So he's out for a few weeks, Tuipulotu, now because of an MCL. That's why he went off during the game. So de Belin's, accident, of course, accident. I don't think de Belin's like that to injure players on purpose or do anything like that to tackle dangerously, but unfortunately, he's injured someone. He's injured Tuipulotu, and we're going to miss him for about a month, I'd say, with MCL. So that's the part I don't like. Now, is it a hip drop? Not really, but it's a dangerous tackle because he went low around the legs and when he didn't need to, and he made Tuipulotu fall down with momentum on his knee, which is now an MCL. So, dangerous tackle for sure, in my opinion. Look, I wouldn't give him 3 weeks. There's no way I'd give him 3 weeks. I mean, you could probably fine him because it's a dirty tackle. It's a bit like a cannonball tackle. I feel like a bit like that where it exposed the knee. That's probably what it's more near for me, not a hip drop. But I think de Belin had a chance not to do a tackle like that. He had a chance to pull out and not do anything. I felt like, but yeah, I agree. I agree. I think 3 weeks is a bit too harsh, but I think 1 week or just a fine would have been enough. That's in my opinion. I think. And yeah, Jacko here in the chat, he says just a week, it looked careless but hardly intentional. Yeah, exactly. It was careless and it was an accident, but I think there still needs to be some sort of repercussion for what he did. So, and yeah, Nick says in the chat as well that he will challenge it, and fair enough. I think the 3 weeks is a bit over dramatic and over the top. So hopefully, de Belin gets some weeks reducted and reduced. And on to the last topic now of the show, the fifth and final one. Official today, and this has been a rumour that has been, I guess, going around for the past week now, I think. We saw photos and leaked photos of Gus Gould meeting with Blake Taaffe at a restaurant or something, wherever they were. But yeah, it's now official that Blake Taaffe will join the Bulldogs in 2024 on a 2-year deal. So yeah, I don't know where he'd play. I honestly don't know where he will play. Because I thought when they first signed Stephen Crichton that he'd be the fullback and that'd give him that full role being the fullback. But now it seems like Taaffe being there, maybe they want him to be the fullback. I don't know. But Fanatics, with Blake Taaffe joining the club and obviously Stephen Crichton being there, who plays fullback in your opinion? Like who out of them two will be the Bulldogs fullback in 2024? Who would you pick?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously there's a lot of talk that Stephen Crichton would be the fullback next year, and that's what they signed him for. So now they've gone and signed Blake Taaffe, which I think he's a great talented player. He's very young, and he's had some when he's played for the Souths, he's had some good games as well, and obviously he filled in for Latrell Mitchell when they were in the finals as well. He's played a few finals games as well. So look. I mean, to obviously leave South, he wants an opportunity somewhere else. A bit more first grade games as well. So I think it's a good move by the Bulldogs. I really do think it's a good move. But where do you play him? You got Crichton. You got Crichton there, who's been considered the long term option for fullback. I think Taff. I think Taff is probably more. I think Taff is still going to be the second choice. I really do. I think that Stephen Crichton will be the fullback going forward, and I think when there's injuries or stuff like that, I think Taffy will come in. So yeah, it's a real interesting one. It's a real interesting one to see what the Bulldogs do there. But I think Stephen Crichton will definitely be the fullback going forward. But Taffy could challenge. I think he can definitely challenge for that spot. Like if Crichton's not playing well, then maybe Taffy gets that spot. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, whatever the Dogs do, and whoever they do choose their fullback, it better work, because I feel like next year there's no excuses going forward. But just quickly in the live chat, I've just received a $2 donation by Lucky Lachlan, and this is a Roosters supporter, obviously. He says Roosters will beat Manly 24-14. I hope not. I hope not. If that does happen, I won't be upset, but it won't help our season, obviously. But anyway, Lachlan, may the best team win on Thursday, and thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But okay. Look, it's an interesting signing, but it's a good signing, I think. Blake Taaffe. I think Taaffe has shown that he is a good young player. Like in 2021, when he burst onto the scene, when Latrell was out for the rest of the year with that suspension and that bad tackle on Joey Manu, he did really well to fill in a big position and fill in Latrell's shoes and play in a grand final, because it's the first time, well, not the first time, but it's a big effort by a young man in his debut season, playing only a handful of games to make a grand final, but lose the grand final, which is sad. But he did well to get there at fullback in a big position. So that's a real, I guess, testament to how good Taaffe can be. And I think, unfortunately, he has struggled to find a spot in the Rabbitohs team, because their backline's already stacked with stars, and the halves have always been Cody Walker and Lachlan Ilias, who was going to be the halfback after Reynolds left the club. So Taaffe has struggled to find a position. Jersey 14 was always a position you could play, but yeah, it'd be hard to fit him in that back line, and I don't think he can play in the middle, to be honest, either. So yeah, I think Taaffe had to leave the club eventually, and whether the Bulldogs are the right club for him or not remains to be seen. But I will say this though, they need a genuine fullback, and I think Stephen Crichton, like the Bulldogs fullbacks in the past, they've been Dalmatinius Lesniak, Corey Allen, Will Apawadi, Sam Perrott, and all these other players that they've put at fullback before. None of them are genuine fullbacks. That's the thing. They're signing centers or wingers on big money. And I think Josh Adokar originally signed to play fullback as well. But he played wing and he's getting paid like nearly $1 million a season playing at wing. Like, that's just ridiculous. And, that's why I was a bit concerned when they first signed Stephen Crichton, because I thought Crichton would be, again, that list of players that, not really a fullback and only play center and wing in their career. And yeah, it doesn't look right to me. But they've signed Taaffe, who's a genuine fullback, and he's always played his career there. So I think that's a correct move and a smart move by Gus and Serrato to know that, know that they had to get a real fullback. It's probably their most real fullback they've had since Ben Barber. And I'm not saying Taaffe will be like Ben Barber, but it's the first time they've had a genuine fullback in a long time. So will Taaffe work out there? Hopefully, maybe not. But I think he's good enough to be good for that Bulldogs team going forward. But look, I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Fanatics, that wraps up the podcast for tonight. Looks, unfortunately, the King, who tried to make an appearance tonight, and thank you to the King anyway for trying to join and be there for a few minutes. It's great to have the King, I guess, on, but I want to get him on for the full show and not have connection issues. But thanks to the King anyway. But Fanatics, it was a good show, bro. It's good to have you back on the channel. Always good to have you on the podcast. And I appreciate your time tonight. So thank you again.
Yeah, awesome to be on the Ankle Breaker podcast for episode 67. And yeah, it was great to be on. Actually, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was good to talk footy with you. And thanks for the invite as well. Really do appreciate the invite for coming on. And yeah, I've definitely got to get you on my channel soon. Obviously, the Warriors Manly coming up soon. So hopefully I can get you on for that, with a preview for that game. But yeah, I've got to get you on my channel next. That's the plan, obviously. So yeah, thanks again to all the viewers for watching the podcast tonight. And yeah, it was an awesome show. It was really good.
Absolutely, bro. 100%. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess when Manly take on the Warriors, that's a game I'll be going to in New Zealand. So only about 2 weeks away now, I'd say. Not next week, not the week after, but the week after that, yeah, I'll be in New Zealand for the first time. So really am keen to make the trip there. But yeah, looking forward to doing the preview with you Fanatics as well. But again, everyone, thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and please go and check out the YouTube channel of Warriors NRL Fanatics as well. His channel is linked in the description down below, so please go and check him out. You haven't already, but you should by now because he's already making a name for himself on the YouTube front. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching and have a good night.